Brethren, I pray you sing a new song. Sing praise in the assembly of the righteous. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let the high praise of God be on the mouths of the saints and a two-edged sword in their hands to execute vengeance on the demonic nations and punishments on those peoples, to bind their kings with chains. Dishonor have all his saints. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Sing to him a new song.
Take 5. You did a beautiful, beautiful job.
That's right.
Brother does a very good job of speaking.
Thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths.
In all thy ways you are to acknowledge him. Then, because you've acknowledged him, then you will direct your path. You'll find out what is good and what is not good. Right? You'll find out what is sin and what is not sin. People go to Christian church all the time, but they don't even know what sin is.
All right.
What is sin according to the Bible? What is sin? What is it? What is it? What is sin? We don't even know what sin is. They say that's a sin. But then what they're doing is really they're leaning on their own heart to tell you what good and evil is. They might say sin is good and sin is good and evil. But what does the Bible say sin and good sin is? What does the Bible say? What does God say sin is? Let's get that let's get that in 1 John. But go ahead on that.
This is Romans 12:2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
So you got to start all the way over in your thoughts. In your mind, in your actions, you have to start all the way over. Right? It says when one is to be a teacher, he should be taught again, roughly paraphrasing. Right? So what you thought was right isn't really right. Right? It's not right. Go ahead.
That ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
So you may prove what is acceptable and perfect will of God. You got some more? All right. So let's find out what sin is according to the Bible. We might say sin is evil or sin is bad. Right? But what does the Bible say sin is? This is the milk of the scriptures. This is what you're supposed to be taught.
This is 1 John 3, verse 4.
Wait a minute. Is this the New Testament? 1 John is the New Testament. Okay, go ahead.
Whosoever committeth sin, transgresseth also the law.
Transgresseth means breaking the law. What law?
For sin is the transgression of the law.
For sin is the breaking of God's law. God's law, not your law, not your heart, not breaking your heart. You didn't give me a ham sandwich this year? Bro, you broke my heart. That's sin, right? You didn't celebrate Christmas? You didn't celebrate my birthday? Bro, you broke my heart, bro. That's sin. That's not what it's talking about. You got to know what is good and acceptable in the eyes of the Most High God to know what sin is, to know what he likes and what he doesn't like, to know what pleases him and what does not please him. Some people say that faith pleases him, and that's what the Bible says. It does please him. But does that mean because you have faith, that means you can break his laws? God forbid. You cannot do that. That doesn't even make sense, right? You cannot do that. You cannot have faith in everything and make everything good. Because you have faith don't mean that it's good, right? Faith is good. It is impossible to please him without faith, right? But you've got to know what good is and what good or what evil is, right? You still have to know that.
This is Nehemiah 8:1.
Get out.
And all the people gathered themselves together as one man into the street that was before the water gate, and they spake unto Ezra, the scribe, to bring the book of the law of Moses, which the Lord had commanded to Israel. So what I'm bringing this out because I want to show, I'm going to jump down to verse 8 and show that the law of Moses is the law of God. And this is verse 8. So that they read in the book, in the law of God distinctly, and gave the sense and caused them to understand the reading.
So he brought that out to show that the law of Moses is the law of God. And that's beautiful because a lot of people will say, oh, that's the law of Moses and not the law of God. But The law, he just showed you that the law of God, the law of Moses is the law of God. And then it was translated from there to the law of Christ. Right? Now it's the law of Christ. It was the law of Moses, and it still is, but it's the law of Christ. Right? Ultimately, the law of God. Right? Ultimately, that's what he said. What is good and what is not good. Right? Go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy 21, verse 18. If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and that when they have chastened him will not hearken unto them, then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him.
Right, so if you got a child that's disobedient according to the law, the father and the mother is supposed to discipline that child according to God's law. Not man's law, not your heart, but God's law. Go ahead.
And bring him out unto the elders of his city, and unto the gate of his place.
This is how it's supposed to be handled. Go ahead.
And they shall say unto the elders of his city, this our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones, that he die. So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear.
So you did this to put evil away from among you, because what's going to happen? If you allowed this to continue to happen, your son or your daughter was disobedient, you don't have to listen to mom and pops no more. You don't have to listen to them. What is that child going to do? That child is going to influence the other children to not listen to their mother or father. So what are you supposed to do to put away evil from among you? According to the law, you're supposed to stone them. Stone them. You're supposed to stone them. Go ahead with this one.
This is Matthew 15:3.
Go ahead.
But he answered and said unto them.
So this is Christ getting ready to speak. This is red letter in the New Testament. We read the Old, where the father and mother is supposed to bring the child, if he's disobedient, to the elders, and then they were supposed to stone him, so it don't pollute the camp, so it don't pollute the body. This is Christ now on this matter. Go ahead.
Why do ye also transgress the commandments of God by your tradition? For God commanded, saying, honor thy father and mother. And he that curseth father or mother, let him die the death.
Let him die the death. If he curseth his father or mother, let him die. This is what Christ said. He quoted the old. This is what Christ taught. He taught the old law, right? He taught the milk, or he's teaching the milk of the scriptures at this time. This is the basic, plain milk of the scriptures. Go ahead and read it. Go ahead and read that.
Verse 4. For God commanded, saying, honor thy father and mother.
He told you to honor your father and mother. Go ahead.
And he that curseth his father or mother,
he that curseth father or mother,
let him die the death.
Let him die the death. Right? A lot of people will say that's the Old Testament. That's done away with. But Christ just quoted the Old Testament saying the same thing that the Old Testament said.
This people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honor me with their lips, with their heart and soul. Verse 8.
Because apparently the louder the car, the better. Go ahead.
This people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me.
There is no action. There's no action. Right? The only action people have nowadays is the action of their own hearts. They have a lot of lip service, right? They have a lot of saying that I love God, that he's for everybody, but there's no action behind it. How do you show God you love him?
Action.
It's an action. It's not just, I don't care if you say you love me. I need action behind it. I need you to show me you love me. Show you love me.
You can't just say, let's make love.
Right.
You just got to be an action.
It's got to be an action behind it. All right. There's got to be action behind it, right? The Bible is a book of action.
This is Matthew 24:10. And then shall be many offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise and deceive many.
Right. So many false prophets shall rise and deceive many. Hey, how y'all doing? Y'all doing all right? How y'all believe in the Bible? Are you want to talk to you real quick? Real quick. Are we talk to you? Okay. That's what's up. What about you, sir? What about you, sir? He with her? Okay. All right, let's get that second Ezra stuff real quick since that occurred. Second Ezra 5 and 8.
Second Ezra, chapter 5 and verse 8.
Bring it up.
There should be a confusion also in many places.
There shall be a confusion also in many places.
And the fire shall be sent out again. And the wild beasts shall change their places.
Right. So, okay, go ahead.
And minstrous women shall bring forth monsters.
Hey, the world is flipped upside down. Minstrous women shall bring forth monsters. Right? Morality monsters, man. They only care about themselves. They don't care about their neighbor no more. Nor do they care to know who their neighbor is. They don't even care. Right? Who is thy neighbor? To love him as you would yourself. Who is that? Is that literally your next door neighbor? No, it's not. We've got to study to show ourselves approved. Right? We're continually being taught wrong. We're not reading the Bible ourselves to learn. Right? We're not reading the Bible ourselves to know. Right? It says, mistress woman will bring forth monsters. They have no more morality. Their morals are wrong. Right? They don't care. They don't care to know what's good and what's evil, what's right and what's wrong. Right? Right? Quick to make fun of. Quick to bully. Right? That's what they do. Hey, if you harm me, I'm gonna harm you. Right? Eye for an eye when it comes to your people. But when it's not your people, you're willing to show mercy. The closest brother to you, and you will not show him mercy. No, brother, you did me wrong. I cannot forgive you. You did me wrong. I cannot forgive you. But some stranger kills your kid, and you can forgive him. How backwards is that?
All right, bring it out.
How backwards is that? Right? It don't make no sense, man. Right? Hey, have y'all talked to them? Hey, how you doing, sir? Hey, you mind if I talk to you? Have we talked to you before? You mind if I talk to you real quick? Hey, I ain't gonna take long, brother. I ain't gonna take long. You know, hey, shalom, brother. What's up? How you doing? I appreciate you coming up. Show some love, man. Hey, do you know who you are according to the Bible? I can tell you real quick. So, according to the Bible, we know who we are based off of biblical artifacts, actually worldly artifacts, and biblical artifacts, and according to what the Bible says, who you are. So let's give him Hebrew 101 and showing him who his father, he is who his father is. Real quick.
Y'all be out here every day?
No, we ain't out here. Every third Saturday kind of. Let's go ahead. Come.
This is Numbers 1 and 18.
Go ahead.
And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees.
So they assembled themselves. They gathered together. They organized themselves together by the first day of the second month. How?
After their families. By the house of their fathers.
By the house of their fathers. Now, did you know that before it was taught to you in the Bible? Did you know this? You didn't know this. So this is the milk of the scriptures. And this is the lesson I'm going over, the milk of the scriptures. A lot of people, have you been to church? You go to church, so in the church, they're doing a disservice to us. They're not teaching us what the Bible says. From the old to the new. How can you know the new without knowing the old? So you are who your father is. Now, I have a quick question. What race is your father? African American. You see your father, what tribe would you be from? They call us Negroes over here, right? So your father would be a Negro, right? So you would be from this tribe of Judah. Right? So it's important to know that, man, because heaven is going to be here on earth. That's what it's going to be. And it's not for everybody, brother. That's what it's true. That's the truth. Right? So, hey, man, there's many things I want to go in and get you back to your family. Can you get that brother a flyer? But this is just the milk of the scriptures, brother. And there's a lot more things for us to know. Did you want to bring something out?
This is so much.
There's a lot. If y'all got something real quick, you want to bring something out to the brother, I want to go and let him get back to his family. But this is very, very important knowledge for you, man, because everybody knows, even if you don't believe in the Bible, they know the end is getting ready to come. They know something big is getting ready to happen. So even the people who don't believe in the Bible know that something's getting ready to happen. So you know that you believe in the Bible, know something's getting ready to happen. You got to know your position. What position do you play? What are you supposed to be doing? Right? What are you supposed to be doing? So, man, I'll let you go ahead and get something about it. Keep in contact with us. Our name is Sons of Jacob. Also, you can check us out on YouTube. Contact information. Go ahead, brother. Got a quick
Okay, this is Deuteronomy. Okay, this is Deuteronomy 1, verse 1. It says, "These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side Jordan, in the wilderness, in the plain over against the Red Sea."
So what are you showing them?
So this is setting the scene, telling you who Moses was actually talking to. He was talking to the Israelites.
He's talking to the Israelites.
Okay, this is Deuteronomy 28 and 15. It says, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee."
So what he's saying is, if you do not do this, Israelites, you will be cursed everywhere you go. So there's a sign placed upon a certain people on this land, the blacks, the Spanish, and natives. There's a sign placed upon them. It's a sign placed upon the Israelites. And the blacks, the Spanish, and natives fall underneath those curses. And this is one of the brothers going to bring up to you first, just to show you.
Okay, I'll start with 46. It says, "And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder and upon thy seed forever."
Right, upon their seed forever.
So it's a sign of these people are identified by these curses.
Hey, it don't matter if you have a baby by a Chinese lady. You know that? It don't matter if you have a baby by a white lady. That curse is still going to follow your baby.
Right, this is verse 54. "So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave." What nation of people is it? It's going to come single-parent homes is gone.
That's what it's going into, man.
That's one curse.
Those are some of the curses that it's telling you that it applies to us. The number one divorce rate, the number one single-parent homes is blacks, Hispanics, and natives. Right?
Black on black crime.
Black on black crime. Hey, and it shows that we were brought here on slave ships and chains. It tells you that. Why did we go into slavery? You know what I'm saying? Okay, bro. I'll let you go ahead.
Check this out.
All right now. I hope that brother do take it sincerely, man, because it's a life and death situation, man. And people ain't gonna realize how bad it's gonna be, nor do they care how bad it's gonna be until it hits the scene. Hey, and that's the sad part about it too. That's the sad part about it. People want to act big and tough. They cool. They ain't got nothing, no worries. I got nothing to worry about until it happens. Where's those brothers out there in the streets that was teaching? Where they at? Right? I wish I would have listened. It's gonna be a sad day, man. It's gonna be a sad day for a lot of people, man.
This is Matthew 24 and 10.
Bring it out.
"And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold."
The love of many shall wax cold. The love of many shall wax cold. Right? It's been waxing cold. Colder and colder. What is love according to the Bible? What is love according to the Bible? You did that first John. So what is love according to the Bible? It's been waxing cold and colder. Colder and colder. Right? People think they're keeping the Sabbath day on this day. Right? They got the internet, which is confusing them. Right? I heard those the people, but I don't care. It's waxing colder and colder.
This is 1 John 5 and 3.
Yeah.
"For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments.
So this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. Go ahead.
And his commandments are not grievous.
His commandments are not grievous. It's not hard. But the love is waxing colder and colder and colder by the day. Right? This is what we're going to see as the end comes. It's just telling you to keep the basic milk of the scriptures. To know what love is. To do the love. To walk in love. Right? When you walk in the love, you will have the fruits of the Spirit. Right? You will have that fruit. Hey, there's many people, there's a lot of people that wasn't mentioned in the Bible that had the love of Christ, that followed after the law, right? That was perfect. Right? A lot of people say you can't be perfect. You can't be perfect. Right? I can do all things that Christ, through Christ who strengthens me. Right? Go ahead on that.
This is Ecclesiastes 5, verse 8.
Go ahead.
If thou seest the oppression of the poor, and violent perverting of judgment and justice in a province, marvel not at the matter.
Marvel not at the matter when you see oppression happen. Right? People getting persecuted out here. Hey, black men and women having the foot on their necks. Be not marveled at this thing. Because love is going to wax colder and colder and colder. Right? People don't even care. Right? They might seem like they care. They might act like they care, but they really don't. Right? The simple act of caring, man, right, can go a long way. Right? But you want to make sure that you know who you're doing good to. You want to make sure you know who you're doing good to. So it's counted as credit. It's credited. Right? I want it to count. Right? Read that again.
If thou seest the oppression of the poor,
If thou seest the oppression of the poor,
and violent perverting of judgment and justice in a province, marvel not at the matter.
don't be alarmed when you see this thing happen. When you see oppression happen to the poor. That's what he's telling you. Right? Don't be amazed when you see this, because it's going to happen. The love of many is going to wax cold.
For he that is higher than the highest regarded, and there be higher than they.
He that is higher than the highest will what?
Regarded.
Will regard it. So the Most High is going to be the judge. He's taking all things into account. He sees everything. A lot of people don't think he sees everything. They don't think he sees me, right? But he sees everything, man. Was you holding something the other day? Was you holding something? Go ahead.
This is Romans 1 and 28.
Yep.
It said, and even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to reprobate minds, to do those things which are not convenient, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whispers, backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covet breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, who knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death.
So, hey, this goes into a lot of different scenarios, and people want to know, when is the end coming? What is it going to look like? What's going to happen? Right? Well, the Bible gives you certain keys. It gives you certain jewels to what's going to happen. It tells you what you're supposed to do. Right? Understand the milk of the scripture, man. Get back to the basics of the scriptures. Learn the basics of the scriptures and what you're supposed to be doing. Learn how to honor thy father and thy mother. Right? Learn how to keep the Sabbath day. Right? Hey, let's get Exodus 20.
But it's definitely going into disobedient to parents, and that alone, it says, is worthy of death.
You can go to Sirach chapter 3, the whole chapter on that one pretty much.
Gone.
And it says it's worthy of death. And Christ mentioned the same thing. The same thing. Right? If you disobedient, if you're showing lack of honor, and our people don't even know what honor is, man. That's a sad thing, man.
Bring it out.
So hey, you gotta learn these scriptures, man, and it's more important to act these things out than to just know it. You can be behind the keyboard, you can be behind the computer all day and know it, but never display it, never show it. You gotta show it, right? You gotta be that example, right? Hey, you're gonna be the example anyway, whether it be good or whether it be bad. Hey, if it's a good thing, you're gonna be an example. If you're gonna be used as a clay to honor or a clay to dishonor, or a vessel of honor, right? If you're made of the vessel of dishonor, you're gonna be used as an example too. Right? Hey, get with the winning team, man.
This is Exodus 20, verse 3.
Bring it out.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me, man. The 10 Commandments is the basic understanding of the commandments. The basic,
I'm home.
It's the basic understanding of the commandments, right? The 10 Commandments, man, and everything falls into it. Everything falls into those 10, right? But you still got to know all the 613, well, the majority of the 613 to understand how it applies to the 10, right? You still got to know that. And then underneath it applies the 2, right? Thou shalt love thy God with all thy heart, all thy soul, and all thy strength. And then the second is like unto it, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, right? Those once you learn the 10, those apply to the 10, or the 10 apply to those 2. The 2 of those, right? But you gotta learn, you gotta know it. You can't just say to love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and all thy soul and all thy strength, and then love the neighbor as thyself and not know how to love your neighbor. That's crazy. How do you love your neighbor? What if you gave him the best glazed ham turkey, or the best glazed ham in all of Tulsa, man, and all of Oklahoma? That's not loving your neighbor. That's not loving him. You still got to know the law. You still have to know the law. Go ahead.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
You shall have no other gods before him, right? Know what the Most High God is pleased with, and please him, right? The Most High God is a God. He is a king. Kings love praise. They love to be praised. Hey, when a king gets praised, he starts giving away things for free. Give him praise. Give him praise. That's what you're designed for, is to worship him. Your whole purpose is to do what he told you to do. Give him praise, right? Go ahead.
Thou shalt not make Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them.
Thou shalt not what?
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them.
Go ahead.
Nor serve them.
Nor serve them. You make them and you bow yourself to them, or you serve them, you have now made an idol. Like I said earlier,
bring it out,
the law is an action, man. Laws are action. Right? Go ahead with your precept.
This is Matthew 4:10.
Bring it out.
Then says Jesus unto him, Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and in him only thou shalt serve.
Only him thou shalt serve.
That's right.
You're not supposed to serve no other God, man.
Bring it out.
Right? In order to serve him, you got to know him, though. You got to know him. Give praise to him. A lot of people will, hey, and that's the acts of service. It's praise as well. Praise is the acts of service. You start praising some kind of angel statue, you start giving praise to it, you've now served it. You've now broken the first and second commandment, right? You've now broken those commandments, right? Let's get the third commandment.
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain.
Thou shalt not take the Lord of the name of, it's like, read that again.
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain.
You should not take his name in vain, man. You should not take his name in vain. Making it to mean nothing. Vain means nothing. You should not make his name vain. Make it to mean nothing. You should not come out here saying that you're an Israelite and misrepresenting him. Right? That is taking his name in vain. Right? Also swearing to it is taking his name in vain, man. It's not like Officer Mahart. He said, I swear on God, right? Right? You know who you're thinking about in your mind. And you're swearing to it. Right? You've now made that name in vain, man. Right? So your behavior, right? How you behave. Go ahead and verse the fourth one.
Remember the Sabbath day.
It says, remember the Sabbath day. Remember the Sabbath day. How do you remember it? How do you remember the Sabbath day? Let's keep reading.
To keep it holy.
To keep it holy. You remember it by doing. You remember it by doing it. Right? That's how you keep the Sabbath holy. You do it. It's an action. Go ahead.
6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
Hey, this is the basics. This is the basic milk of the scripture. This is the basic milk of the scripture. This is what you need. Right? Once you get the basics, then meditate on the deep sentence, the dark sentences, the parables. Then you start to apply those things. Right? First, you got to get the milk though. Read that again.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. Right? The seventh day. Go ahead.
In it thou shalt not do any work.
You should not do any work.
Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant.
Right, you should not do any work. Right? It should not be laborers. A lot of people think that coming out here on the streets, man, it is a labor to the Most High God. But the work that the rest that He's telling you to do it's a refreshing of the spirit. You're refreshing your spirit, man. Right? To learn what you're supposed to do, to go out here and be able to teach your people, tell the people the downfall of America because of all the abominations that's happening. That's a refreshing. That's refreshment to our spirit. Right? That rejuvenates us. Right? That gives us a boost. Okay? Go ahead.
Nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gate.
Nor thy cattle, nor the strangers that is within thy gate. Go on.
For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day.
Go ahead.
Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
Right. So He's telling you the basics on how to keep the Sabbath holy. Right? And He made it holy. Some days He made higher than others. Right? Just like some men. Just like some months. Some years. There's a Sabbath year. Right? So, hey, there's some things that He made higher than others. Some days He made better than others. Not everything is equal. Not everything is to think that everything is equal is an abomination. Right? Let's just get there. I keep saying it. Proverbs 11, 12 times.
Proverbs 11:1.
Bring it out.
A false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is His delight.
Right, a just weight, a just balance is His delight. A just balance. It has to be balanced, right? Righteously, not unrighteously, right? You got to know what righteousness is to be able to divide it righteously, right? To be able to know how to balance it righteously, right? The basic Christian don't even know what sin is, man. They think it's good and bad. Well, what is good and bad according to you? No, that's not sin. Right? Finish that up.
Honor thy father and thy mother.
Honor thy father and thy mother. We went over that already. We even went over what Christ said about it. Hey, you need to honor your father and your mother. Go ahead.
That thy days may be long upon the land.
Hey, and this is the first promise of the law. Go ahead.
which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
That thy day may be prolonged upon the land. Right? That's the first, that's a promise, the first promise in the commandment. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not kill.
Thou shalt not kill.
Thou shalt-
Unrighteously. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Thou shalt not commit adultery. Go ahead. Having a man sleeping with another man's wife, or a woman that's married sleeping with another anybody. Period. A man horrible. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not steal.
I mean, the single man. Thou shalt not steal. If you steal, you're supposed to repay back 4 times as much as you stole. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
You should not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house.
All right.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor.
Hey, and the word covet goes into desire. The word covet goes into lust. Hey, and it is a human characteristic to have a desire, to lust. It's a scientific term, but it's called the desire to live. If you lose the desire or the lust to live, you don't want to be here no more. You will die. So what is it talking about? What is it talking about? So the part where it gets to a point to where you start to desire to take your neighbor, what your neighbor has. That's when it becomes a sin. When it comes to a point to where I like this and I'm gonna take it, right? I'm gonna make plans on how to take it, right? That's when it becomes the sin, right? Go ahead.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 9.
Bring it out.
Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God? Be ye not deceived, neither fornicators, nor adulterers, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of God.
God.
Hey, that's a beautiful point to end. And with that, I'm gonna say, give all praises and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Hashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. Shalom, my brother.